Well, I will tell you, Myers bought 50 acres. Yes, Aldi's is open, as you know, tomorrow.
That makes sense. Now, we're going to kind of put you on the spot a little bit, but is there any projects or developments or anything in the works that haven't yet been announced that we could maybe announce here today? All right, guys, here we are with Brenda Stumbo. Brenda is the supervisor of Ypsilanti Township. Well, first we want to say congratulations, Brenda, on winning the most recent election. Yeah. So what number is this for you? How long have you been in this position?
This is my 10th term of being elected to local Ypsilanti Township Board. So
wow. Okay.
I'm in my 36th year of service. Wow. I started when I was 12, I tell everybody.
You must be doing something right. Huh?
Yeah.
I love it. I love serving the people. I really enjoy it, and I love our community, and it's an honor to serve it.
That's cool. So tell us a little bit more about, for some people that don't know what a township supervisor does, you know, essentially the best way I kind of think about it is it's essentially a mayor, right,
Correct.
of a township,
Yes.
right? Cities will have an official mayor, a township has a supervisor.
Correct.
They essentially have a board of trustees with you at the helm
Yes.
as the supervisor.
That is correct.
So tell the people a little bit more, like, what is your day-to-day role here in Ypsilanti Township?
So what I love about township government is that we have 3 full-time officials that serve the community every day, and that's our township treasurers here, our township clerk, and the township supervisor. And my specific role and duties is the budget is number 1. And we just approved the budget. It's about $51 million. So, I mean, it's a large budget, but the taxpayers' money has to be managed. It's very transparent. It has a line item budget, which I think is helpful and unusual compared to other communities. So we just adopted that. We just had our first board meeting of the new board. Our term starts November 20th in townships. Cities and villages and county and state, they start in January. So townships are a little different. We are the 7th largest township in the state of Michigan. So
Interesting.
we're in they call it Big 10. And we have meetings and to discuss issues that are facing and how do we deal with them is because we're large. The city of Ypsilanti sits in the boundaries of the township.
Yeah.
So it's 32 square miles and about 4-mile area is the city of Ypsilanti. But what I'm happy about with the city of Ypsilanti, we've been working towards the redevelopment of E-Course Road.
Yeah.
So we did the bike path over Huron Street here and the bridge so that people could have access and go in between easily. Non-motorized ways of travel is very important to our community and the city of Ypsilanti, and really everyone likes to have an option. Yeah. And then we did Grove Road too together because we share that. So we made those improvements, and now we're looking to do E-Course Road and do the redevelopment of E-Course Road. Mm-hmm. What we did is Aldi's is open, as you know, tomorrow.
Yep.
They have a soft opening today, so people can go shopping if they would like to. But tomorrow it officially opens with a ceremony and ribbon cutting. But Aldi was, the property was owned by the taxpayers of the township. So the township negotiated and sold that property to them. And the proceeds from that sale have been reinvested into a fund for E-Course Road revitalization. So we want to keep economic development going. Our small businesses, as we know, they're the backbone of any community. And we know that, and we want to support them. And it's really nice to be able to have a vision and work with the residents and the business owners and the city of Ypsilanti as we develop E-Course Road. So,
yeah. Well, we know that property at Aldi's is closed. Have those funds been used yet, or where are those funds at?
They haven't been used. They've been set aside in the 2025 budget for E-Course Road redevelopment.
Gotcha. So that's still kind of up in the air to be decided over this next year of how that's going to be spent?
We retained an engineer to do the walkability and lighting of that district.
Gotcha.
That's the first thing residents said they wanted. They wanted to be able to walk
and
be safe with the lights. Yeah. So our first investment that we're doing is that.
Very cool.
And you know, our residents deserve it, and we really want to make that happen because there's a lot of great small businesses on E-Course Road. Yeah, that's I'm really, really excited about that.
Very cool. Is there anything else you can tell us about the kind of the future plans for Ecourse Road? Anything like maybe further down the line that's...
Yeah, we took this as phase 1 because that was the most important to the residents, is to get it safe. They want it safe. They want it safe to walk and to make it with more of like a little downtown feel, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the second phase is to actually do a transportation study and see about slowing the traffic down. So there's a lot of, there's 5 lanes there. So that's a lot of, if people are going fast, they won't stop at a business.
Yeah.
They did some plans in 2018. It was like a future vision. But then, of course, with COVID, I mean, that really took a lot of toll on our community, on residents, and on the government as far as kind of stopping everything.
Yeah.
So now the momentum is starting back up.
Yeah.
And so Ecourse Road does have a preliminary vision of it, but we want to make sure that's still what the residents want and the business owners want.
Yeah.
They've also, Saturday, I went to a cultural chamber of commerce on Ecourse Road.
Yeah.
So we're celebrating our diversity and really trying to create a business atmosphere where, of course, everyone is welcome.
Yeah.
So
Very
good
nice.
things are happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of really good things are happening here.
We
in
are
Ypsi.
excited. Yes.
Yeah.
We've seen all the new signs, the new bathrooms going into the parks
Yes.
over by our house. And we got new park signs and two new bathrooms that I saw just over in Textile. And
I think
2
even
parks.
more coming. And I remember when we talked earlier this summer, you had mentioned to me kind of one of the things you're making a highlight is infrastructure, right? And so tell us a little bit more about that. What are kind of your goals with infrastructure for Ypsi Township?
So, and this is actually historical. The townships, and we have invested in roads, water and sewer, stormwater management, so flooding, and we have to make sure before you build a house, it's on a good foundation.
Yep.
That's right.
And a lot of times, including myself, if you're driving down a road and a tire blows, like you can't miss work. You know, you don't have that extra expense for people, and it's really caused a lot of damage for people. And we don't want to do that. We want no harm, and we want to make sure our roads are in good shape. That's what we spend a lot of our dollars on, taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
A lot of the projects we did in the parks was ARPA, the American Rescue Fund dollars. So adding bathrooms to where they have soccer games and not having porta-johns.
Yeah. It's going to save you money down the road.
And it's just actually the residents and visitors deserve a nice atmosphere when they come in, right? And porta-johns, they help, but it's really not a good long-term solution.
Right.
The Jazz Festival was another, we created a position for special events.
Yep.
And we want our residents, our families, and everyone to be like involved with the community. And our special events coordinator just started last year, and Jazz Festival is one that we do every year. We had a car show.
Yeah, I saw that. That was really cool.
That was really, and we had a Halloween trick or treat, and I think there was like 800 children that went through at no cost. You know, it was, and we, this position also has gotten sponsors from different people. Yeah, so it's just, cool. I can see it organically happening now. You know, and I think
things are on the right track.
That's how I feel.
Positive.
But very positive, and good working relationships with people and communities is very important. And I think we have that. We have a good foundation for people to rebuild, rebrand, and to build new as well.
Yeah.
So
you mean home developments,
home and businesses. You know, American Center for Mobility. As a lot of people haven't toured it, and we're looking to have a community engagement day so that we can have people see what that does. And that does research and development on automated cars and trucks and hydrogen fuel. And there's just a lot of new things that have happened that we haven't been able to really talk about. Yeah. So I'm so thankful that you're asking today, you know, what's happening in the township.
For sure, for sure. And then we noticed also that you had the affordable housing over on the other side, there was the affordable housing.
Yeah, and that's technically in the city of Ypsi,
Ypsi,
but that's the
sorry.
Dorsey Estates. You're probably
Yes.
familiar with the affordable housing over there.
They had, and it's interesting. I would love to have just a conversation with people. Affordable means a lot to many different people.
Yeah.
Very true.
So affordable in the real estate world is $250,000.
Yeah.
And that's really not affordable, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
And there was an affordability report that came out in 2015.
Mm.
The county did one and then updated it in 2020.
Yeah.
And what it said was in 48197 and 48198, we really need to uplift people
Yeah.
and to increase income, education, and health. And those are all things that we all care about.
Yes.
And this was
Definitely.
before COVID.
Mhm.
So when
Exactly.
COVID, it really affected a lot of our community when COVID hit. So we're also going to, at the same time, focus on those things. So there's always something to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think would be the best ways to do that? What are some things that you think would accomplish that?
Well, we have to get good jobs for people, right?
Yep.
That's one.
Which kind of starts with infrastructure,
Yes,
so the right
yes.
businesses can come in,
Yeah.
right?
You know, we come from a blue collar community where the Ford plant, the GM plant,
Yeah.
in the city and township, and we had over 40,000 jobs that were good jobs, and it paid your children's way through college and provided a good, stable environment for your home. And then they've left, right?
Right.
So if there's something I learned is that you have to diversify what you do.
Yeah.
And you can't only be automotive, which is what we were,
Yeah.
because when the automobile industry was hit, it affected
Yeah.
our
The
community
whole community.
and the city of Ypsilanti tremendously.
Yeah.
So you have to be aware of, and that's why the American Center for Mobility, if they do the research and development, the businesses could locate near here because of the opportunity to do the testing there.
Yeah.
So it's just the little things that add up to positive for our community.
That's right.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of diversifying in the different industries
Yes.
too. Making
Yeah.
sure there's enough of different industries
Yes.
that, it doesn't affect the township if
Right.
one is hurt too bad.
Right.
So-
And when General Motors closed, I was elected supervisor in 2009. It was November 20th, 2008. And in June of 2009, General Motors announced they were closing.
Mhm.
And then the housing foreclosure came.
My husband worked there.
Okay. And I mean, I did an interview on that, and so many of our residents lost their jobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And the community lost $1 million in actual taxable dollars that
Wow.
were paid
Yeah.
to the township.
Oh yeah, and they were frequenting the party stores and the
Small
places for
businesses,
lunches
yeah.
and everywhere for food and
Yeah.
the banking, the credit union.
Everything was
yeah.
affected.
Yeah,
And
everything. Yeah.
so that happened, and then we had the housing foreclosures
Mhm.
because Ypsi
Yeah.
Township had the most building permits during that time. We were growing.
Yeah.
Wow.
We also had the highest foreclosures.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was a lot to manage. I think this is actually the first term of being supervisor that I really feel like we're on very stable.
solid ground.
Yes.
Mhm.
And we have a board that wants to do what's right for the community and for our employees. And I think it's going to be a good next 4 years.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Very awesome.
That's awesome. What's most rewarding about being the supervisor?
I was a trustee, and then I was a clerk for 16 years, and then I've been supervisor for 16. For me, it's the day-to-day conversations with the residents.
Yeah.
And it might be something small to some people, but if we can help a resident, and the building is named after Tilden R. Stumbo,
Right.
and he was a clerk in Ypsi Township. He was the youngest clerk elected at that time. I think he still is. He was 23 or 24, but he said that every day you should ask yourself, did you help someone?
Yeah.
That's your role, and that is the most rewarding, is when you can just help.
That's kind of our motto too.
Yeah, is it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
How did I help today?
Right, and that's so that's the most rewarding to me.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What would you say is the biggest challenge of being the supervisor then?
Going through those trying times, and thank God I had history on the budget. when those hit, because it hit in 2008. And then we had a board that had knowledge too. It's really important that we have new people, but we also need that historical knowledge so we can avoid pitfalls and challenges that happened in the past. So the most challenging is managing the budget.
Yeah.
It's 51 million. It sounds like a lot, which it is, but really government, township government is for police, fire, garbage, rubbish, recycling, and for roads and recreation. That's what our funding is for.
Yeah, when you think about it, has to provide all that. It's like, oh, it doesn't seem like that much anymore.
And one wrong move economically
Yeah.
can affect all those services.
Right.
And we want to make sure that the services are excellent, and of course the customer service from our employees. I've had people say, you just have some of the best employees.
Yeah.
They move from other communities and they come in and they go, you answer the phone? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know, right? You
Yeah.
did answer the phone.
Oh, yeah. Yes, we do. And so I'm really proud of the employees that we have that service our community as well, because it wouldn't happen without that.
Yeah, for sure.
That makes sense. Now, we're going to kind of put you on the spot a little bit. But is there any projects or developments or anything in the works that haven't yet been announced that we could maybe announce here today?
I can't.
No worries. No. I figured the answer was probably no. Figured it was probably no, but I had to ask anyways.
I appreciate it.
But it's good. It's good for the community, whatever it is.
Yes, yeah. And some things you have, well, you're in real estate. Non-disclosure until it's disclosed that they're actually going to buy it and invest in it. So you got to be careful. But all these was one. Can we talk about some of the things that are in the works?
Yeah, let's talk about some of the projects that you're most excited about that are currently.
Well, these are what's approved at the Planning Commission and in the process. So all these, yay!
It's amazing.
Check.
Culver
Culver's
is looking to go next to it. We're in a offer to purchase. They're doing their due diligence to make sure that they can make it. And that should close in the very first quarter of 2025.
Okay.
And
very cool.
A lot of residents are excited about that.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, Myers bought 50 acres. Yes.
Across, right next to the police station, right?
Yes. And I'm like,
I noticed they had a small plot there too. So they own 50 acres, that whole...
They bought 50 acres. And
wow.
So what did we do? Because you learn from your past, right?
Yep.
We commissioned a study of the roads for Huron Street and the Southern District.
Yeah.
Right.
And Ecorse Road. So where we think there's going to be development, we want to make sure that people are not gridlocked.
Yeah. Overload traffic.
Right.
Yep.
Our residents don't want that. Like they might want a Meyer, but if they can't move, they don't want it.
Well, the good thing about right here and Huron is there isn't homes. There isn't a lot of homes.
Right.
So you got to come to this area from your house.
Yeah, you kind of go through it almost. It's kind of like you travel through.
Yeah. So we want to make sure that it's a good, safe.
Good flow.
So Meyer bought 50 acres
Yes.
right next to the sheriff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they originally said they were going to do a small, it's called a neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like they have one in Detroit and another, I think in Oakland County.
It's like a mini Meyer.
It is. So that's what we originally met about, but we haven't heard, and they had not purchased the property at that time, but now that they're property owners, I can say it, they purchased the property.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
So that's coming, more news on that.
Coming.
Whenever they decide, sometimes Myers holds on to property for a very long time.
Before they build,
Yeah.
Could be.
But we want to make sure that it has non-motorized paths on it and it is capacity allows this development. You don't want to say no, but you don't want to say yes to everything if it negatively impacts the community, right? You got to. So that's a balancing act that we're currently looking at doing. Sheetz gas station is on West Michigan Avenue. They have been through the planning process. So
Wow, very cool.
That's exciting.
That
we
is
just got one in Romulus.
correct.
Now we're going to get one in Michigan Avenue.
Yeah, and
Sweet.
I guess they have a restaurant and
They do.
lots of shopping. It's a total different concept than just
Kind of like Buc-ee's.
Yes.
Yeah, some of that.
Yes, that's exactly what someone told me. Yeah. Yes. And there's
It's the Buc-ee's of the North, Sheetz. Right.
and then Comfort Inn, which is a hotel, is also submitted plans, and in final detailed engineering, and they're on South Hewitt, which
Okay.
is
Gotcha.
by Sheets. It's all going to be
Right.
in that
Right there.
area because
Oh, wow.
access in and off the
So
expressway.
that's at Michigan Avenue in Hewitt.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
So that is coming in. There's a tortilla company at Joe Hall. I love the aroma. So they're in.
Just drive by.
And you can just smell it. And that's a preliminary site plan right now. And we talked about Holiday Inn Express is submitted as well. And on Joe Hall Drive, which is off of Huron Street.
Oh.
Frost Music Venue, which is our, it's an amphitheater and a consumption lounge of marijuana.
Okay.
So that was an interesting issue for.
Where's that going to be at?
It will be over off the expressway by Rawsonville Road.
Okay.
It borders Belleville, Van Buren Township, and
Right.
Ypsi Township. So you'd get off that exit, and we were very intentional on that zoning to make sure that it didn't negatively affect the neighbors, right?
Yeah.
That's the biggest, odor is one of the biggest concerns with marijuana.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think there's too many, but what do I know? I don't know.
So this would be off Rossonville and Bridge.
No, Rawsonville and the Service Drive.
Okay. So,
By YCUA, over by Yucca. Are you familiar with
okay.
Yucca?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
the other side.
Yes.
The north side
Yes.
of Rossonville.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah.
Well, good. That'll cover up the smell from the yucca plant.
Not as concerned about smell
now
over
that,
there.
well, now that you talk about that, we did authorize a large investment to do an odor control upgrade
Nice.
Nice.
to the YCUA sewer department. Have you ever been there?
Yes, I've been on a field trip there.
Okay.
So
It's amazing, really.
it's really amazing.
So I worked at Yucca
okay.
for a short time. I was Sister Sludge, was what they called me.
What a nickname.
I know, I thought it was cute. But but again, that's utilities.
yeah.
So,
So you've
to-
really been in the trenches,
Yeah.
haven't you, Brenda?
yes, literally from the ground up. Yeah. And we have Creekside Village North, which is a housing development. It's in preliminary site plan.
So is that off Tuttle Hill then?
Yes,
And
it's between textile and
Mart's?
yes.
mm-hmm. Okay.
So
Yeah.
so that's a restart up too, because a lot of housing stopped.
yeah.
During, well, you know, as
Yeah.
realtors. Yeah. So this is a new house
So they're
startup.
they're just amping it back up.
Yes.
They're just redoing
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
and
That's
depending
great
on the
news.
economy and the interest rates, you know,
Yes.
it all affects it. There is a U-Haul container storage on Parkwood Street that's in the process. Dr. Paws opened up on Washtenaw.
Nice.
People are very excited about that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Washtenaw, we have been working with a regional group to have a walkability because there's not really non-motorized paths
Yeah.
on
Not wide
that's
enough.
connect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so for I bet 10 years they've been talking about doing it. I thought for sure they're doing it this year. Well, they decided they're not. So we're going to look to do preliminary engineering and submit for grants, so our residents can at least get something they've been promised and looking forward to. We want people to be able to walk, use a bus system,
Ride a bike, whatever they need
ride
to
the
do.
bike,
Yeah.
or safely.
Yeah,
So
those electric bikes are becoming very popular.
they are. Caliber Collision is another place on East Michigan Avenue that opened up soon. And Coletta Turbine, they did a huge expansion
Wow.
over off of Tyler Street. So there's been some
Wow.
really good,
Very cool.
Lots of
Yeah, I was gonna say
positive
there's
things.
there's projects in there we didn't know about.
Yeah.
So those
Yeah.
are some of that's new stuff. So that's
Well,
awesome.
good.
Thank you for sharing that.
absolutely.
Yeah, now we know where to go next.
Yes.
What next video?
Yeah, exactly. We got to decide which ones we want to make cover now.
I would do the American
Thank you.
Center for Mobility
Okay.
because that is something that people can read about, but you really don't understand. And I didn't either
Yeah.
until you get on site.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
something you need to be a little more visual with.
Right,
So,
right, and more
awesome.
community engagement, and that's our goal too. Is we upgraded our website so we can have. We heard that from our residents. They want to know more about what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, we
Very
don't. We do not have our own newspaper
Yeah.
like we used to have. The
Well, maybe
Ypsi-
we could be a part of that.
could be. We need it. Like, well, Belleville has a Belleville View. They have a little
Yeah.
And Celine has one. Yes, Belleville Independent. Thank you.
Yeah, the Independence. That's right. Yeah.
So there's just, and we don't have it. Unfortunately, the M Live and Ann Arbor News, they like to write negative articles, you know.
So it's almost like nobody's controlling the narrative from Ypsilanti side of things.
Right. And so Ypsi City and Ypsi Township both want to start having positive press.
Right.
And that's why Trevor and I do what we do, for real, because we do live here and we do see the positive. You know, we live in a great neighborhood, and there are a lot of great neighborhoods around too. And I think a lot of people think Ypsilanti, but it's an excellent location for sure. Yeah. And
so I think
there's a lot of great people that live here.
There
and
really
you're
is.
one of them.
Oh,
yeah, for sure.
I think we need. We do have this year budgeted a media person to help media marketing communication.
Yeah.
Because I think I know a lot of communities are doing that.
Yeah.
And all the businesses do it.
Yeah.
So it helps. Like if we can't get the good news in print, let's do it through digital and we can do print, but we need someone to help manage that. We don't have a large staff, even though we're a large township.
Yeah.
We've always been fiscally conservative, so that it's a taxpayer's money, not our money.
Right. Yeah.
So we try to manage it.
And do the best you can with what you got.
That's awesome. So as we kind of wrap up here, for any of the residents or anybody even maybe looking to move here to Ypsilanti Township, what's one last thing you'd want them to know about either you, the township, the kind of the future here? What would be something that you want to kind of leave them with?
What I know is Ypsilanti Township is a good location. We're 20 minutes from the airport. You can go east or west on 94. You can get on 23. It's easily accessible. You'll find that residents will work. That's our history. We're hard workers.
Yeah.
So if you need workers, this is the place to be. And we also, our government is just very unique, whereas we're customer friendly. I consider residents and visitors customers, and then we should treat them in that manner. And we do. We do whatever we can to help our residents or businesses, whatever we can do to help. If we can, we will. And our goal is not to harm anybody.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep, be very proactive.
Yes.
The great thing too is, we have Eastern here. We have Washtenaw Community College, and we have St. Joe's.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
much.
we have all that within the city, the township, all right here. And it's just a great place to live.
And a beautiful lake, a Ford Lake. We now have the rowing. There's just so much going on.
Yeah, and our challenges are, since COVID, the people have to be held accountable for behavior. And I think people are backed away from policing. And I don't mean over policing. We never did do that, but I think people need to feel safe. Lights is very important to every community, neighborhood, and business district. And to have speeding is an issue, so let's enforce that speeding, because that's a number one issue at Neighborhood Watch. I attend Neighborhood Watch meetings.
Yeah.
So the beauty of township government is that you're here every day, so you can hear the residents. You can listen to their concerns. And their concerns is speeding.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that it's a safe community in order to prosper as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep everybody safe.
Keep the taxes as low as we can too.
Yeah.
Let's not increase them. Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. I wish they would change it in the state of Michigan because the largest tax is your school tax.
Yeah.
And it's very hard on people who are on fixed incomes, and you might get 3% a year, but your taxes go up 5%.
Well, and if you have people that don't have any children in school, it's very hard on them, to pay the taxes for school.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've been there, done that, you already did all that.
And some states do it differently.
Yeah.
And I think as a state legislator, we need to look at ways to make housing more affordable.
Agreed.
So they use the word affordable housing, and what does that mean? Remember I said that?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, and I like housing affordability. So that's utilities, taxes, services.
Everything with owning a home.
Yes. Yeah. So it's just a different perspective. And how do we get there? And the only way to do it is to do it together.
Yeah.
That's right. And that's why we're here. We really appreciate you taking the time with us today. It's been really fun learning
Yes.
about all of this. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed at home as well. And we hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.